my God.
Yes, I know it's hot, but I just want to give yourself a pat on the back for being here. Woo. Thank you. Say, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you. God. I love you. So welcome. This is our beautiful mastermind about the healing arts, about our gifts, the talents that we have either tapping into or we've already tapped into. It's such a great gift for all of us to be able to be here together, to even talk about this. I mean, there's people around the world right now who don't have access to this, to community, who don't have time to think because they're living paycheck to paycheck. Hi. So it's like, how amazing that we are here right now together, expanding our minds. Healers united. Now, 95% of the people around the world, as most of us know, they live in lower vibrational states. They're blaming other people for the way their life is. They're afraid and constant fear. And what we have discovered, what we have tapped into, is the frequency to be able to help people see the light. We have walked the path least traveled to the darkest corners of our minds to realize glimpses of freedom. And now, some of us have started, perhaps small, in our communities, sharing our gifts and talents. But there are so many beautiful souls out there that are seeking and don't have the resources, haven't reached our message because we haven't put ourselves out there. We haven't expanded our capacity to broadcast our healing modality, our gift, our light. Because perhaps we may have some blockages that are still holding us back. So today I want to open this beautiful mastermind, this beautiful sacred container, to maybe begin to see things a little bit differently. And by the end of this mastermind, I want us, each and every one of us, to make a commitment of a 5-year goal, a 1-year goal, and how we're going to be showing up in the world as a result of this conversation today. By the end of our talk today, I want us to make a commitment that we're going to be ruthless. We are not going to give up. We're going to keep going forward no matter how long it takes for at least 5 years toward our goal. Because greatness doesn't happen overnight. It is persistence day in and day out when we figure out a clear goal, a destination where we are going. So today I want you to start asking yourself, where you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 5 years? What is it that you truly want? How many people's lives do you want to impact positively? Today is 5 years from now. 2026. Looking back, you realize that there was one little event that changed your destiny because you created a vision. You made a choice, drafted a destination, and you started marching, expanding your light. So where are you 5 years from now? Because you know it's going to go by in a snap of a finger. How big is your light? How many lives have you changed as a result of your gifts and talents? Because there is no limit to your creation, but you have to figure out exactly what you want. And if 5 years is too hard to imagine, then imagine just 1 year from today. Where are you? What have you set up in place to be able to broadcast your light? Because it's all a path of transformation. And even when we have figured out our gift to the world, the one frequency that we're tapped into that makes us feel happy, if we are not experiencing the level of abundance in the different areas of our lives, then we still have more to let go of. There's more to transform, more to release, more changes of the stories need to be made, more reprogramming, more new story, repetition, 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 until your new story becomes your narrative and you believe in yourself so hard that no one can tell you no about anything. So today together we're going to co-create this beautiful mastermind, realizing where we're going. Each one of us is going to choose a time frame, another now moment, just like right now, because we're always existing just another now moment, now moment, now moment, now moment. In order to tap into another now moment, projecting yourself into the future, because we're living in multiple universes, multiple time streams all at the same time, you have to be able to access that moment in your mind and in your feeling. So what is it that you want to create? If you can use a year from now, then imagine where you are a year from today. What is it that you want to manifest in your life? You get to choose the time frame, but you need to visualize. What is it that you want? What do you want? There's absolutely and totally no limits. How many people's lives? How much do you want to believe in yourself? How much happier do you want to be? Do you want to attract that beautiful relationship into your world? What is it that you want? Because all of these pieces, they are part of your puzzle and they all matter. So build that picture. Listen to your intuition when I say, what do you want? What comes to mind? And we'll use a time frame of just a year from today. Not very long. What do you want? and we create that vision about what we want, and we make it clear on a vision board, then the universe begins to deliver to us exactly what we want. The hardest is to make that vision clear. Because we are vibrational beings, we're constantly emanating the vibration to the universe of exactly what we want, as long as we can keep ourselves at that vibrational state of deserving it, that we are worth it, that it is ours for the taking. And in order to get ourselves there, we have got to create that vision. It has to be clear. Because the universe is like a 6-year-old child. And the clearer you can make the vision on your vision board, the easier it is for the universe to deliver to you exactly what you need. Now, how do you gain clarity on that vision of exactly what you need and why you want it? You create a daily routine, daily rituals that help you get tuned into source, into your vibration of all there is in the beginning of every day and at the end of every day. So today I want us to tap in together in this beautiful collective mastermind into that vision, into that story that we want to tell about our lives. Because our vision is our story. Our story is what unites us all, because it is one story. People buy from us because of our story, because of our drive, because of our struggle. Using the internet and monetizing our life is just being authentic about our struggle and opening a container for more people to be resonance to healing. That's it. Money is just an exchange. It is a gratitude of appreciation for something we do well, for a life we change. So, what stories are you afraid to share? What mask are you still holding on to that you are afraid to let go of? Today, we will discuss all that, and I welcome you to just speak with an open heart. Because we are all here for you, and in order to see how easy it is to truly monetize your life, you're just going to have to let go of a few more layers and implement new strategies that will help you believe in yourself, so you can literally allow for that frequency, from that vibration of abundance to enter your body as a result of your old limiting beliefs leaving. So, a year from now, where are you? How are you expressing yourself to the fullest? How much do you see in your bank account that makes you feel good? How much of yourself are you sharing with the world authentically without any filters? How much more love do you feel for yourself as a result of believing in yourself day in and day out? How will your life change if you can create that clear vision of that perfect now moment, just like right now, in another hypothetical future, just another now moment, just like right now, and then you create that clear vision and then you march toward it day in and day out, holding yourself at that frequency of knowing that it's already happened. How much more confident do you speak when you have an X amount of dollars in your bank account? I want you to imagine the number you want to see there. How confident do you speak from a place of knowing that it's there? What type of possibilities is your attention tuned into, knowing that you have that number in your bank account? Because you start noticing things that you haven't noticed before when you're tuned into that frequency of knowing that it's already there. No one can take away from you what you know. Believe it and you will see. 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 And today together, I want each and every one of us to create that beautiful picture. And when you go home, I'm going to hold you all accountable for creating that vision so you can march toward it. So we can both laugh about it a year from today, about how easy it was. Once the vision became clear, how easy it became to monetize and see all these things come into place as a result of having clarity. Clear, crystal clear, like you're communicating to a 6-year-old child through a vision board. Vision. So what do you guys say? Do you want to create this clear vision with me?
Yes.
Woo! So go ahead and open your eyes. Welcome back. That's the first and biggest secret in the entire universe. Is the ability to understand that we're always existing in a now moment. Now moment and a now moment and a now moment. It's always a time frame, a still picture. The reason why we see things moving is because we see them fast, but everything is happening very, very slow. This is why when we can tap into another now moment by creating a vision of that moment, we are going to live into that now moment. Into that picture which we create for ourselves. When we do our daily rituals day in and day out, we're tuning ourselves into believing in that now moment. And the daily rituals is a meditation practice. You're looking at your vision board. I'll teach you the way that I do it. You're doing your forgiveness practice, allowing things to come in, and you're doing deliberate actions toward your vision. You know, there's steps that you take every day. You're literally tuning yourself, your antenna, into that perfect image of that now moment for you in whatever time frame you choose. And nothing is off limits. The number in the bank account, you better believe. It's just another now moment, a picture. It's a feeling that you tap into. You tap into $100,000, you believe it, you get tuned to seeing that. That's how the universe works. It's built that way. The law of attraction, you're the magnet. So, did anyone have a vision that came to mind a year from now? Does anyone care to share about what that vision was? Michael?
I just want to share that we operate at our higher knowledge, that we works like this. Yeah. It's just that the vision that you have, the universe is always going to give it to you in a different way. So your vision could be your aha moment is when you find yourself in a B scene, in a B moment, in the now, and you have the ability to recognize that actually that was A. It's just given to you in a different way. So it's just like stopping for a second and then writing down what is your now helps a lot to understand that dynamic. Because people get trapped in their vision sometimes because they attach to the vision itself. They really picture it. But it always, my experience is that it always comes to you in a different, unexpected way.
Okay. So, yes, exactly. So that's why when you tune yourself into the frequency, if it's important for you, for example, financial abundance, what is the number? What is the number? What does the word financial abundance mean to you? Because so many people say, I want financial abundance, and I'm like, so clarify that. Does that mean $1, $10, $100,000? What does it mean, and when do you want it? And then you put that on your vision board. You actually take a screenshot of your bank account. You have to make it so real, like it really happened. You take a screenshot of the bank account, change the number using PowerPoint, put it on your vision board, and you go to that vision every day. Now, how it's going to unfold, you're going to have to let go of the stories, and I'll teach you how to do that. But then you'll get tuned into the frequency of that monetary reward from the universe. And when you tune into the frequency, the path itself, you will start recognizing and seeing and being attuned to come over here, do over this, drop everything and go over there. And you have to learn to listen to that inner voice that says, no, you're moving out here now. This is the right place. Okay. Yes, boss. Boss. And obviously the most amazing part of this whole equation is that when you operate from the heart, that's how it really all unfolds. Because that is the truth. That is the real magnet. That is a battery that's more powerful than the Tesla. Our heart is 50,000 times stronger than our brain. And our brain gets in the way of everything because we've been taught to think with our brain. Day in and day out, growing up. Be strong, think with your brain. Analyze. And now it's our job to learn how to drop from the brain to the heart to make sure that we're always authentic, that we know what we want through our vision, and then we're going toward it with opening our heart a little bit more every day. But yes, very good point. The vision can unfold how it unfolds as long as you're tuned into the overall picture of what it is you desire, the frequency. So the frequency of abundance, what does that mean? Is that a financial number in your bank account? When do you want to see it? Is it creating a family? When do you want to see it? Is it having relationships, friendships that fuel your passions and help you fulfill your dreams? When do you want to see it? Like, you create that picture because you literally live into that picture by becoming that. Because if you live into that picture, you are experiencing that now moment. Let's say you chose a time frame, which is a year from now, and now you're painting a picture of what it is. I'm so happy and grateful. So your area of abundance is already done because you're there at that moment. So you paint that picture, and then you repeat that same picture every day, literally living into it, letting go of all the things that say, no, I can't, the voices, the friends that are not useful because you're trying to create your dream and they're not in resonance. So you slowly let go of all these things because you're living into something which you've already been. Because if you've already been there and you go there every single day through your daily rituals, you start to believe in yourself. Slowly, 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 slowly. And when you believe in yourself, can anything really stop you? Can anyone really tell you no? See? He says no. And then you can do anything. And then you're like, I need to make money. Okay, now I have to be very clear. What's my money? Okay, I need $10,000 a month. Great. What does that look like? Gotta put it on the vision. 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. And then you become a vibrational frequency match with the 10,000. May not be in the way you think it's gonna be, but now you're tuned into it. The way that you speak is from a place of abundance because it's already in your bank account. You know it. And I teach the daily rituals, and here I'll pass it along. So you guys, I printed it out for you. And I have a course about that actually. Here, just pass along one of each of those. The daily rituals, that's what helps you tune into you so you can get a clearer picture of the vision where you're going, where you've already been, where you're tuning yourself into, and you can let go of all these things that are holding you away from it. And there's a lot of stuff, right? We got ancestors, we got all these limiting beliefs, we got all these friends, we got our family members, and we slowly have to let go of all the noise that separates us from source, from having and being the manifestation of our most expressed self. And yesterday we were talking about story. And I don't know if I have enough copies. We were talking about story, how story is the most important thing. Because you create a story and that's what people buy. You may think they're buying a hat, but they're not buying a hat. They're buying a path to freedom, a path of how they feel when they put it on. And when you build that story for them, about how they're going to be more free, more expressed, more beautiful, show up in the world more authentically, that they're like, wow, they're buying the story. Mm-hmm. So what's that story? Have you told it authentically all the way through? And a lot of people are afraid to touch on that story because they you know, or they think that there's no more stories and they've already done all the work. Yeah, I've done that many times, thinking that, okay, there's nothing else to forgive, but then you find something else that you need to let go of. So it's like, how can we be more authentic? To be completely and totally vulnerable, sharing why we're doing what we're doing with every single person. Because your best friend, your client, the person that's gonna make your dreams, could be the person next to you any second of the day. We don't have to look out somewhere to make our dreams come true. All we gotta do is be vulnerable, ask for it. Hey, can you help me? So, vision, daily rituals, story. The third part, the second part of the daily rituals is the changing of the stories and the core beliefs. A lot of us have many more stories. Even when we found our life purpose, our healing modality, our art, we still may have stories that are about finances that are underlying running the show, and we're not even aware of them. So when we meditate daily, we bring these stories to the surface. Our subconscious loves questions, and when we give it time, when we are quiet, we communicate with Source. And I spent the last 5 years, writing the books, Wrote the Girl with the Buddha Tattoo, and I've opened myself up to being a channel to communication, totally open, unfiltered. And my healing modality, my transformation was through ayahuasca originally. That's how I realized that I had so much anger inside of my body toward my mom. And I didn't even know it. I was in high tech, making $125K a year at 26, BMW high-rise apartment. But I was miserable until my mom, she was diagnosed with cancer and passed away 6-7 months later. all this time I was growing the corporate ladder, thinking that that's the way life was supposed to be. That was my plan, to financial freedom. I got to travel the world. And yet when she left, 49, 50 when she left, it was like, okay, perhaps life is not guaranteed, and something is giving my heart another breath, another chance to beat, a reason to be here. It must be something bigger. So that's when I began to wake up. And ayahuasca, I've been brought into ayahuasca after starting a wellness center with my sister. She showed me how much anger I had inside of my body toward my mom because she was really strict. We didn't get along. I was supposed to be a doctor, lawyer, or an engineer, and everything short of that was failure. I had a lot of programming, and I had a lot of anger, and that was my first step, and ayahuasca showed me that. And writing the book, a lot of editors told me to take some stuff out of the book because it wasn't gonna sell. Because ayahuasca may not be a commercial thing. My different psychedelic experiences, meditation, like all of these things, learning how to breathe, sexual intimacy, like different experiences in sexuality, like all of these things, they have formed me to become the fully expressed version of myself and now be able to monetize online. But a lot of editors, a lot of people told me to take stuff out, and I would, because I would listen to them, because my mind would be like, oh my God, I need to be more commercial, I'm gonna need money. Mm-hmm. And it didn't make me feel authentic. Mm-hmm. So then I would bring it back in, because who am I to say like, hey, you wanna heal yourself, you wanna be like this, you wanna express, and then hide the path that I took to get here. If I preach being authentic, be real, then I had to do it, but it took a lot of work to right now have a best-selling book that has ayahuasca, different shamanic medicines, my experience with a couple, like all these different things that are outside the norm. And now I feel authentic, I feel real, and this is why I'm so drawn to the healing arts, and I found a way to monetize, and I'm so excited to share this. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm like, I'm on fire about teaching everybody who is like on the healing journey about how to monetize with their gift, with their story online.
I hope.
Yes. So, anyone have any questions about anything that we discussed?
I have a comment. Just the idea around authenticity is very interesting because for a lot of us, we have kind of this inner fraud alert sometimes when we think, have you ever been in a situation where you're stepping into a new role, you're stepping into a new position, a new direction, and you feel inauthentic? Like, wait, is this really me?
Yeah.
That is such a beautiful feeling to witness. It's such a moment to grow, because at that point can make you or break you. You know, there's a saying, fake it till you make it. And I think the essence of that is that you have to break through the feeling of inauthenticity to go towards your higher purpose, to land on the truth, which is so much greater than you can grasp, that your mind tries to break it down. There's that little inner battle that happens that you tell yourself, oh no, like I couldn't do that. You know, that mental chatter that keeps you down. It's the limiting belief. So sometimes authenticity doesn't feel real.
Yeah.
Sometimes you actually have to break through and become clear and allow that inauthentic feeling to be there, because you're so driven by the why you have to get to that next stage. And if you can build that power within yourself of that why, if you can fill yourself with the feeling of how amazing it would feel to help X amount of people, how amazing it would feel to be in this kind of service. Sometimes it's not about the money, sometimes it's about the feeling. And so like method acting, I love method acting, right? Let's step into this other character and study it completely. How did this person, what is their ritual? How do they walk? How do they talk? Will that feel authentic to be an actor? No, but is there a greater purpose? So for a moment, I bring awareness to that greater purpose, because it is your fuel. to break through any feelings of inauthenticity that might be standing in the way.
Woo!
Thank you.
So that's exactly it. What kept me from giving up on the writing of the book that took 5 years, The Girl with the Buddha Tattoo, a bestseller on Amazon now, was the fact that the person on the other side is my old self. I was that angry bitch, you know, and I never knew why. My mind was always triggered. I would get upset, slam doors. And I never understood until ayahuasca started to show me, but drove me in the book day in and day out, and I wrote all the time. It was just like I was addicted, I was in flow, was the fact that I didn't want another person to live the same way that I lived and attract the same type of abusive relationships, blaming life, blaming other people, just being in my own shit show even though I made money, drinking every freaking night and being miserable. I knew that there were people out there that were just like my old self because I was talking to them day in and day out. And that's what drove me. Like, even when I didn't feel like doing it, it was like, hold on, like, you gotta make this book more clear, because the people out there you need to explain it like to a 6-year-old child, and that's really hard. When you're starting something, like, your mind has so many different ideas. In order to get solidified and make a path very clear, it takes a long time.
Totally.
And how many people told you that you're crazy, or what was the polarization like in your life?
Oh gosh, my parents only believe in my book now, and they're translating it 5 years down the road. Yeah. And it's just like the closest people to you will tell you no one makes money doing this. False belief. False belief. If no one's done it in your family, if no one's been an entrepreneur in your family, then they're like, get a job, get a job, get a job, get a job. They will try to mold you into the same story that they have lived, because they have never. When people don't experience something, they can't see that something else is possible. Just like with healing, and that's why I had to share every single step in the book, because people don't know it's possible to cross over. Everyone lives in their view of life based on their limited experience from their past. And this is where everybody speaks from. This is why when you learn, when you go inside and you have compassion for that inner child and you find forgiveness, whew, you can walk around and really authentically love people. But the drive, what kept me day in and day out, considering I put thousands of dollars, and the return on books, you wait for that. Now I'm experiencing it finally, because I've learned how to monetize online. But all this time, the drive was other people, my old self, which is 95% of the people in the world. Did you want to add something?
Yeah, it's how all that leads to working with inactive medicines and that's the experience of people that is actually on top of that process, because they have taken the path to serve the medicine and surrender to that path in their life and getting out of the way. I don't know, it's your experience, but I guess that at the very bottom of feeling authentic,
Yes.
that's part of the psychedelic experience as well.
Yes.
People feel strange in their own authenticity and identify, well, that was because I was on a psychedelic experience, on a medicine experience, but like it goes beyond that. So
Yeah. So I'll shine in. So each one of us chooses. Some people choose to serve the medicine, because choose, or it's been chosen, the medicine tells them that. Some people choose to promote. So me, Abuelita didn't tell me that I'm a server, but I feel in my heart, in my truth, that I'm a promoter. So I am the gate to infinite publicity. So I feel like when you choose your role, if you're a server, for example, then you team up, you play in your role. You don't have to play in every field. You choose that, you team up with other people who are doing the avenue, the marketing avenue, like me, like I'm the marketing avenue, and you create alliances, a world-class team. And you say, this is my job, obviously that's what I love, this is who you are, great, we collaborate. You have an audience from Mexico, you and I are working together. We're sisters, like, or we're brothers. Like, all your audience from Mexico is going to come my way, so we are working together. Yes. But if you want to build an online presence, you can, or you can collaborate. So there's two different ways, and I can teach you guys how to make an online presence. Do you want to chime in on that as well?
Well, I'm excited to see about your methods and to sit as a student and chime in when possible. I mean, on the medicine, I think one of the most beautiful things we can do is gain more perspectives on our own life. And medicine allows you to break patterns and to see yourself from a new light. And typically you see the light and the dark when you're able to take a step back. And, you know, it's kind of the fast approach, right? I mean, people can spend time meditating and really dedicate themselves to a spiritual path and will have similar results. And then people can also use medicine to catalyze their vision of themselves. And one of the biggest things, most important things to remember about medicine is that even though we may have these grandiose visions, don't let that vision allow you to separate yourself from others or, you know, inflate your spiritual ego because you've been there. It's really important to use medicine as a tool for service of yourself and others, and to understand that when you are healing yourself, you're healing all, and medicine will help you see how you are part of the all, most definitely.
Yes.
I'm curious, when you guys say medicine, what are you speaking about?
So I personally have experience in many different modalities, in ayahuasca, in 5-MeO DMT, mushrooms, Campbell. So I've done many different things. But in my humble of truths, the most important about the medicine and partaking in a medicine circle and partaking in drinking the medicine or smoking is the integration. Because most people, they go into a very high level, high different frequency when they are in the medicine. They tap into something that's much bigger, the secrets of life. They uncover the God within themselves, what's holding them away from this love, what's holding them away from opening the heart, and the frequency is so high. And then 2 weeks after, it dwindles down because of lower vibrational frequencies. Text messages, phones, cell phone towers, people that obviously are not in the resonance of love or haven't experienced these things. So the frequency dwindles down and then they're back into their mundane life. And the whole purpose of the experience is to transform every area of your life so you can live a better life. So the integration, and it can take, you can shine on this, it can take months, years to integrate. Because the whole purpose, if you go in there with a purpose, with a vision, you're prepared to transform every area of your life, then you need to do certain things every single day afterwards in order to see the shift.
Right.
Like for me, I implemented, just last comment before you can chime in, I implemented because I discovered how much anger I had inside of my body toward my mom for being so strict my entire life, up to 6 months before she passed, blaming me for everything. Whenever something small happened, it was like, oh, Dasha. And then through the writing, I realized, oh my God, she's got a wounded child. She was abused as a kid. Like, she gave me the greatest gift. She left so I can live. Whoa, that's love. But it took me a long time to realize that. And it's because of integration, because of writing. I integrated with a song called Oponopono. It's a mantra. You familiar? On YouTube? I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And it felt like, 26 years of abuse is a lot when you start to understand your whole life, right? And it all begins in third trimester. So it's like, it felt like my heart that day after ayahuasca when I discovered this, because my mom actually entered another girl's body. It was a trip. But I discovered that my heart was depleted of love. And then I had to figure out how to do daily practices in order to heal that battery. And then with Oponopono, which is a tool I implemented to integrate in the beginning when I started to feel like my heart battery, it was charging up, baby. And then soon enough, after you do it enough times, enough days in a row, because you implement that integration strategy, all of a sudden you're like, fuck, woo! like life becomes an adventure. Like everything becomes so easy because you're not taking things personally, because you know everyone's doing their best, so you forgive them faster and you love regardless what happens. And they say, oh, screw you, and you say, okay, I love you too, namaste. Like, you know, like you just no longer live. You don't get caught up in the stories. You just love, 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 love when you do that for yourself through integration. And I would love for you to chime in on integration, because you're also an integration master.
Thank you, my dear. Well, first of all, I am so grateful and blessed to be here now, learning, receiving, holding, and open to share a little bit of wisdom now of what we've been walking this path of medicine for a decade now. And as you said, the only thing I can share is from my own experience. 1 year ago, well, after walking between 8 and 10 years of shamanic deep initiations with plant medicine, shamanic different initiations and transitions, it was a lot, overwhelming.
Yeah.
There was a point that I realized that the more that I received, not necessarily the more clear I was. There was a point that I didn't have the capacity to assimilate all these teachings and all these altered states of consciousness, and I didn't really know how to ground it, no? I actually got a little bit overwhelmed and confused, and I was like, how come? If I have the teachings, if I have the wisdom, if I have the teachers, but somehow I didn't know how to integrate this into my life and make it practical, because you know, as a multidimensional being that I realized that I was through these experiences, I had to come back to the 3D and ground this. And I found that there was a gap in between those experiences, these initiations, and walking the path grounded, no, on the earth, and align it with my mission, no? So that took me to my own process of integration. And for 2.5 years now, I've been downloading like the importance of the integration process, because we were focusing a lot in expanding, initiation. The medicine, like you said, choose us. I will not say that I choose the medicine. I was not looking to be a medicine keeper, but it was the opposite. We're walking very near to the elders, and the elders are initiating us as the next generation to hold these traditions and these sacraments, to be able to keep the essence and the wisdom for the next generations, right? So this is a big responsibility, and that means that you have to go through that process first, right? And that you're not exempt to go to that process, even that you're facilitating, right? And this is something big, no? This is something huge, because even that you have the knowledge and you have the tools and you have the initiations, if you haven't lived it, if you haven't embodied it, then it doesn't become wisdom, right? So through my own process of integration, and I will say the uncomfortable part of integration, which is the shadow, no? The shadow work, that part that somehow we kind of avoid, no? We avoid these uncomfortable parts maybe all of our lives, and maybe we even choose spiritual path as a way to avoid that discomfort, not necessarily to go through it. Even that medicine, all these allies that are present to us in this medicine path, I will not just say plant medicine or animal medicine, but there's other medicines, elemental medicines, that are available for us as allies for a process of transformation. But even those allies are there to support us. They will not do the work for us. Mm-hmm. And that is where we take the responsibility of our process, no? Mm-hmm. And that's where we embrace everything that we are. And I will say again, no, talking about the story, talking about the shadow work and the uncomfortable parts. In my own experience, I'm facilitating and holding space for different ceremonies with my husband and other elders. I realized that most of the people were caught up in this medicine cycle, where people want to somehow avoid the discomfort and think that you need another ceremony, another medicine. You know, so somehow conditioning that we've been taught from the pharmaceutical industry. You know, just like, oh, you feel bad, take a pill. Now, maybe this same conditioning is bringing up into the shamanic medicine world. Because, of course, the medicine will start to bring up things to the surface from the unconscious. And this is not necessarily comfortable. So as soon as those things start to come up to the surface, if we don't know how to deal with them, if we don't have the tools, the guidance, the container, the community, it actually can be very, very overwhelmed, confusing, and you can actually feel alone or even depressed. And that is actually losing the purpose of why are we actually walking this medicine path, which is transformation and going into our soul purpose. No? So as I said, this conditioning pattern of avoiding feeling, because at the end it's feeling, right? We think that we're going to feel better while we walk this path, and the reality is not. We're not going to feel better. I'm sorry to say that, there's not a good promise here. But we are definitely become better at feeling, and feeling everything that we are and everything that is part of us. And that can be part of us that we've been not accepting all our lives. And if we connect with our inner child, right, because our emotional body was formed from the first 7 years, no, of our life. Our emotional body is there, no? That is the life, the cycle of development in the first 7 years. Then when you're 30, 40, 50, you enter the medicine path, you start to take ayahuasca or other psychedelic experiences, and guess what? These unintegrated child wounds come to the surface. And you're like, come on, wait a minute, like I thought that I already had worked with this, right? So what to do? What to do when these things come to the surface? And for me, that is the integration process, no? How to deal with that emotions, how to start to dive into the ancestral lineage as well, because at the end, if we decided from our own lineage to do this transformation work, the elders say it's like we're the point of the arrow, right? So we have 13 generations behind us and 13 generations before us, no? Or after us. So the breakthrough that we're doing, the genetic code that we're changing, the deconditioning that we're changing is through us. So there is a process where I feel that as you advance in your spiritual path, with or without medicine, there's a breaking point, no? Where you actually, like you said, you just said, no? Older generations might be against that. Oh, no, you should be a lawyer, you should be, you know, what are you doing? What are you trying to change, you know? And it's very overwhelming because in a way you're betraying your lineage because you're changing, right? So for me, this is another process that I will talk, if you want, later about the content of how I realize the map of integration. But this is like the path where we start to create an alliance with our ancestors to be able to go forward in this transformation for the highest good of all the lineage, no? And I feel that this is where we enter into maturity, into integration, and into embodiment as well of that. So this is what I can share, you know, from my experience. All these integration map has taken me some time to integrate, like I said. What I find challenging for me to deliver this message, not in person, but more online, because I want to you know, take this opportunity with you as an amazing coach that has breakthrough, is actually to talk about these complex themes to a 6-year-old.
Yes.
As I receive a lot of information, right, as a channeler maybe as well, and to be able to structure it, to be assimilated for simplicity, you know, from A to Z. Maybe I receive information from the C level, but the A needs to understand it, right?
Yes.
So this is for me my thing that I need to work on, you know?
Okay.
So thank you for allowing me to share my integration.
Perfect. So this is a good transition into the world of monetization.
Yes.
But before the monetization, remember the most important part is the vision. Because if your vision, and thank you so much again, thank you. If your vision is, let's say you create a vision a year from today, is that course that's online,
Yeah.
then you gotta find a visual representation of what it looks like.
Okay.
Because then you're gonna start marching toward it, and then you're gonna have to start to go it in your mind, like, okay, like the course is done. How does it feel? Oh wow, I just woke up and I just received a message from London, and I just received a message from UK, or even here from Mexico. Like people are like, I just finished this. I feel so amazing. Like, wow, how does that feel? Well, it feels good. Oh wait, my bank account it grew also at the same time. How's that feel? Oh, that feels good. So when you create that vision and now you're in that every day, and now when you're starting to build it, you've already been there.
Yeah. Yeah. You connect like to the future.
You're already, yes. So like I said, another now moment. So you find pictures for all these areas of your life, and I call this 7F manifesting, and I'll show you how I created the course online. I call this 7F manifesting, and I created this myself, and it's the different areas of your life, and you put images of them, and you literally live into that moment, whatever time frame you choose. So if it is financial abundance, if it's a course, then you gotta find this picture. Like you're sitting in meditation and you're like, okay, it's a year from now, it's a year from now, it's a year from now. What does it feel like to have this course ready? Can I see how does it feel? Okay, that feels really good. Like you're tapping into that, and then you're like, what does it look like? Where am I? Like, did I already complete the course, or is it halfway done? Where am I at the state? Okay, it's done. Oh wow, I finished within a year. Cool. Have people already tried it? Have I already put a beta test? So you create a time frame, and then I'll show you now the steps to take after you create it. So you create the time frame, and you start marching toward it. But first, you go there in your mind. Hi, and welcome. Thank you for being here. We're talking about healing and monetization, healing arts and monetization. Actually, sorry, would you like to introduce yourself? You're brand new, so...
I was next door with Sylvia, receiving combo.
Okay, cool.
And she started telling me about it, and I was like, I met Zach the other night, and he was telling me about it. So I was like, okay, synchronicity, I'm coming over after the combo. I know it's the end, but...
And here's your integration slash...
I still feel forward.
He's in the integration.
Cool, and what's your name?
Nathan.
Nathan, welcome Nathan.
One of my tocayas.
One more.
Yeah. No, that's the third.
Wait, what?
Tocaya. We met at Macaba.
Okay, guys. So now you've did you want to say something else, or?
No, thank you so much.
Reika, did you want to say something?
I just wanted to add something to what you're saying, that in my experience, what I've seen is some pattern of people that has choosing to transform themselves, to heal. Like I think there's a very straight connection between self-healing, transformation, if you want to call it like that. It's more like taking care of your spirit and abundance, any kind of abundance, right? But I've seen that in people that don't work particularly in using these tools, you are tools like medicine ancient tools, which I think it's very advanced technology. So, for example, you are an advanced user of your DNA technology. You are. Yeah. So what you're doing is getting honoring users, because we all have our interface source in the form of the double-strand DNA. That's how I see it. So you are actually allowing other people to understand that integration is the most important part.
Yes.
And not necessarily have to go on using these tools to achieve that, because instead of the schools, but there is also a way to find abundance, because in my experience, the people that have made the decision to challenge themselves, sit down in the ceremony, and put themselves in the hands of the good shaman, they have, after all of the years, I've seen that they have been able to create more abundance around them in several different ways, and also to experience how you get your abundance, you bring it to your life with less suffering.
So it's actually the opposite of bringing it. And not finding it because it was never lost. It's remembering the truth, because we are already infinitely abundant. But with all conditioning, we have forgot. There's all these layers. This is why the integration separates us from the different layers, one at a time. So it's not coming to you. It's you're aligning yourself with it to see it unfold with ease as a result of you changing yourself by believing that you are worth it, that it's yours, and by knowing exactly what abundance means for you, right?
Well, yeah. And I would add that too, that if you are coming from a 13th generation of slavery, your technology is pretty fucked up.
Right.
That's what some people don't get, you know. So it comes from within, but of course you have to like bring it to your life actively, because you could mismatch the message, and there's like some kind of spiritual spiritual bypass that is thinking, oh, you're just going to do a lot of medicine and meditate, and then abundance will come.
Right.
You've seen that, right?
Yeah.
Right. So if you don't do the integration, it's not going to come from within. You have to actively look for it.
Right.
But it's more pleasurable when you are feeling good rather than because you've done some integration work and you had intention.
Right.
But I've seen that pattern. Right?
I
In
know
ayahuasca
it
circles, you find a lot of people that have been doing very good lately, and it's like, why is this happening? It's just like a magic trick. No, it has that layer.
Yeah.
You need the integrator. You need the marketer. You need
good team. We're good team.
all that.
And there's other tools.
Empowerment.
A lot of people forget that, like, okay, like they use medicine, but wait, like, what's your daily practice? Like, there's the rest of the tools part of the toolkit. Yeah, like, are you breathing deeply? Like, are you aware and conscious of your breath in every conversation? Like, are you slowing it down whenever you're being triggered by something? Like, are you able to hold space? Like, it's one interaction at a time that changes our life. It's one interaction at a time, getting out of the head into the heart and being authentic and expressing ourselves. It's one thing at a time. It doesn't happen just like that. You've got to, how many years of programming already on this computer of a body, an operating system, running an old system from the ancestors. So you've got all these years now to reprogram one circuit at a time, using the different tools day in and day out. Yes.
We're all so incredibly tapped into a universal field. And so it's important sometimes, all the time, to observe yourself without judging yourself. I believe, through what medicine has taught me, that sometimes it's not your thing that you're healing, but you've been chosen to heal it. And if you don't heal it, it'll continue to spread. So some of the darkness, some of the challenges, some of the struggles that come to you through generations of the past, through what's floating around in the universe, it can be very painful. It can be very painful to go to the beach and see plastic on the sand. Now, what do I do with that pain? Do I bury it? Or do I recognize that that pain was given to me as an opportunity to heal it? Is this my opportunity to take action? So part of my integration practice with medicines is recognizing, well, what is my relationship with this darkness? And am I going to get lost in a spiral of judging myself for having it? Or when it appears, do I bring as much awareness and love to it as possible so that I can make sure that that doesn't spread? And when you asked about medicines earlier, Evan, I was reflecting on, for me, my medicines in my life have been Aya, San Pedro, and psilocybin have been the most powerful. And you don't always have to sit with a shaman and have a super deep experience because, for example, psilocybin has been proven to increase the neuroplasticity of the brain. So you have an increased level to create connections that you typically are not able to create. It's new fireworks happening in there. You know, normally our brains are following these patterns, these pathways that have been developed in the past. Microdoses of psilocybin suddenly activate and create space and catalyze new pathways. And so it's an opportunity to rewire and bring in that vision and train yourself. We've spent so much of our lives being trained unconsciously. So we have to, with even greater power, greater strength, greater determination, repeat our mantras, focus on our vision, and step into that. And once you're aligned with contribution, you realize that is the need that fulfills all other needs. You know, I could be going for growth. I could only be going for love. I could be going for significance, sure, or I could be in contribution. And once I'm in contribution, all of my needs are fulfilled.
Yeah.
So it's this alignment and the inner journey of healing our darkness and our integration of the trauma of our life. We don't have to just think about ourselves. Like this actually is contribution in the world to be healing these things. Sometimes you don't have to be going out and being in the light and being in the public persona. Sometimes your greatest contribution is what you're able to heal in the world through you. Just wanted to mention that.
Yeah. And that is actually exactly part of the course, which I'll show you how I set up after thousands of hours of struggle in different platforms we talked about recently. And the fifth step is actually realizing all these vibrational states, and I call this the pyramid of consciousness, that we all exist in. And how, like, when you realize the lower vibrational state, well, first of all, you have to realize that you're the entire universe of all the emotions on the scale. And then when you start seeing these low vibrational states, like, what am I feeling shame? Like, all these things that we're feeling, and you recognize them, only then you can free yourself from them. But we're always coexisting, we're experiencing different energies constantly. Maybe it be ours or not ours, they're always collective. So it's like some days we may be happy, some days we may go dark and be sad, and that's okay. It's okay not to be okay. But then when we learn how to use these tools, and that's why I'm putting this online, and when we use these tools that are available for us, and for most people they're not available, so we are the access to these tools. We are the conduits, we are the light. So when we provide that service to the universe, to the people out there in the world, we are creating a service, a contribution with our gifts.
And it should be fun.
And it's really fun. It's, once you figure it out. But even the struggles are fun too. And like Jonathan said, contribution, when we begin to live a life that is bigger than ourselves, it fulfills every single one of our needs. It's about all of us. So, course. Who's excited about making a course online? Has anyone made a course? Show of hands.
But I want to.
Does anyone want to make a course? Yes. Has anyone written a book? Book? Published a book? Okay, cool.
I'm writing right now.
Sweet. Does anyone think they need to spend 5 years like I did on the creation of a book?
No.
Oh, thank God. Does anyone think that it has to be any format or take any amount of time? No. Okay. So I will show you how to create. Oh, if I know how to transfer the next page. How do you do that? Oh wait.
Might want to make sure that mouse is hovering over the screen.
I don't.
Click on it once.
Oh wait. Oh, Control Tab. Control Tab? No.
Make sure the browser is active.
I don't. Okay. So after years of trying different platforms, and I tried Kajabi and I tried ThinkFic.
Mike is requesting everybody to shut down
The Wi-Fi? Okay, okay. Shut, yeah. After trying Udemy, you name it, I tried all of them. I have discovered one platform that works the greatest. Can we change the screen?
Change it a little way, because I have the cursor over
I
here.
have a question, but I don't know.
Oh, one second. What's the other tab?
I don't know. I think I changed it.
I don't know, they did something. So here, I'll explain how it works. The path to monetizing goes from there's different channels we'll discuss, but it goes if you are using, for example, Facebook ads. And first, obviously, you create your vision, because then you're going to live into it. Let's say you've created a vision. You said you're launching your course a year from now, and it's going to be an integration course. Example. Let's say you're going to be starting to monetize one way through Facebook ads. There's something that's called a funnel that leads people from one destination down to buying your product, which you are going to create an unbelievable offer, because that's what people usually buy. So the path is that what I have learned, and I've learned from the greatest, is by creating this little like if you give something for free, the hardest is to get people to say yes to giving you an email. It's easier to sell them something after that, after they've already agreed to giving you an email. So for me, I'm giving away my book absolutely and totally free. That's my lead generator. And in this book does not have to be, this is the book that I wrote for 5 years, but it could be a how-to anything at all. How to get to know your body, like just anything. It could be however many pages, it could be 10 pages, it can be a video that you can give away, it can be whatever you want. But what I learned is that a book, aka just a number of pages that you put together, PDF, that's a book, doesn't have to be complicated, is the best way, at least for me, to generate these first yeses on this lead page. And the platform that I love to use, and I've used all of them, is called ClickFunnels, because they have pre-built pages that are so easy to use. Oh my God, it's so easy. And this is what I teach you in my course, by the way, 7fmanifesting.com, is the first 7 weeks is that integration. Every week I tap you into that frequency. You're going through the stories, you're going through the pyramid of consciousness, the vibrational scales. So, and then the next 7 weeks after that, you are writing your own book, creating your own PDF, and then the next 7 weeks after that, you are making your own course. So I give this away almost free, like over 40 hours right now for just $37. Why? Because I'm building my brand, and it works. So what people need is for you to give them a ton of value. Like give. You give so much, they just like shove money down your throat. Like that's how it works.
Right.
When you when you educate and you just they're just like here, like please, like you changed my life. What can I do for you? And not only money, you get resources. You get people to want to cooperate with you because they see your fire and your passion.
Right. There's a few other companies that are coming out that are sort of like competition to ClickFunnels. But the problem is Russell Brunson delivers so much value
content everywhere.
Like, to everybody. He gives so much of, like, he's just created the most, like, people that are devoted to ClickFunnels, right? Like, I learned so much from him. I wouldn't even think about looking at another platform.
Right, and the guy is always showing up, and guess what? He's doing the same thing day in and day out, year after year. So when you decide that one thing and you're like, this is my thing, you're gonna keep going for it. The raw love guy, how many years did he say? Adan was his name? He said 7-8 years. People are now taking selfies with his brand. 7-8 years. Like people are like, I want it fast, I want it done now, but create the vision before you know it, it's gonna be a year from now. Takes time. So create that vision and then start always talking about it everywhere all the time. This is how you're showing up in the world. Your Facebook should always be your excitement level about this day in and day out. All your social medias is you excited about it. You constantly talking about your story, how you came from this and this is what you're doing now and how much you love it and how you want everybody to jump on the train. Russell Brunson says, he's like, do you know how sick I am about my story, about like the poverty, but this is what made me who I am, because I can relate to people and I talk about it every single day still. He's like, it's been like 15, 20 years and I'm still talking about my story. This is where I came from. This is why I'm doing this. It's like 15, 20 years, he's talking about the same story day in and day out all over his social media. You better believe people are noticing. You better believe people are buying, because he didn't change his story. He stuck to his story day in and day out, and the same thing until he got into everybody's head, until his energy, until his aura expanded so much that we're talking about it right now, globally. But see, what most people do is they keep changing the kind of things that they want to do, so then it never sticks in people's minds. This is their gift to the world. Because people are too afraid that they might miss an opportunity to do something else. But guess what? When you're going toward one vision, you're going to realize how powerful you are when you complete things. Then you'll see that you can actually do each one at a time, as long as you lead each vision to completion. That's the power of vision. Power of creating, putting in a date. I'm live, let's say my course is live. Put in a date, find a picture of what it looks like, tap into that frequency every single day through the daily rituals, and watch how the whole universe is going to conspire to make that happen. So ClickFunnels is a really good platform. I can't say that none of the other ones are, but I tried many of them. Create something that captures your audience attention. Like for me, I wrote down overcome, blame, traumatic experiences, and start living your fully expressed, creative, wild, and centered, abundant life. Like this is what this book is going to give you. And then I created a beautiful page, and in order to do that, when you're on the path, you're going to see that you have sponsored ads on your Facebook feed based on the things that you enjoy. If you want to create and monetize your life, see how people are doing it. So what did I do? I clicked on a bunch of these ads. I bought a bunch of their products, and then I've seen how they're doing it. Okay, if they targeted me, I liked it enough to click it, I liked it enough to buy it, what are they doing right? Oh, okay, this is the process. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. People have already done it. People are making tons of money online. We just have to see what they're doing and plug in our own information.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, well, it's a process, right? And then it's
I have a question. When
Yeah.
you said people is making a ton of money online, how do they get paid? Is everything goes through PayPal or what?
Stripe. Well, I use Stripe. People use PayPal. There's a lot of merchants.
Merchant
Checkout.
processors.
Merchant processors.
Actually, I work with merchant processors that can guarantee the lowest rates in the United States. So if you're banking in the United States, I can help you out.
I also have a training that I did that like teaches exactly how to. But do you do a training like that too?
I teach you how to create it too. Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm just gonna have this on on Mastermind.com, which is also created by Russell Brunson and Tony Robbins, and they created a really awesome platform to put your stuff on there, and they actually drive
Traffic
people to it. Yeah, Mastermind.com. So
I'm
another
just
platform.
Great.
Specifically, did you self-publish your first book?
Yes. And now I have 5 books, and I went through Amazon because how simple it is to market yourself now online, and how to become a bestseller. You don't have to go through a traditional publishing anymore.
And then you get your books were Kindle.
Yeah.
They weren't hard copies.
They all started as hard copy and became Kindle, and I teach you in my course actually how to easily do that, the right resources, the right people. I've gone through a lot of people. A lot of people say they can do something and they can't. So now you need a huge team of people for different stuff, like formatting, editing. So now I have in my vendor list this whole list of people that have areas of expertise that I did not have. And that's what I learned, to create this world-class team in order to accomplish these things, because you can't do this by yourself.
Yeah, I think the resourcefulness is not something that I have really been stressed about, more so gathering the resources for this team.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of, what is that market like, I read that it's $1,500 to have someone like read your book and edit it, but I also read that it's like way more than that.
I have an alternative
So-
to that.
Yeah.
It's also like in the space of crypto, so
Oh yeah,
it's
sure.
important.
Yeah.
There's a portal called X-Labor. It's growing very fast, and everybody pays and get paid in crypto, and the rates are really, really low compared to people that are taking money online.
What is it called?
Xlabor.com.
Can you spell it?
Xlabor. So you have people there offering all kind of gigs, and it's cheaper. And also, if you have some money invested in crypto that is growing, you can use that revenue that the crypto is giving you and trading working people around the world. And it's growing, and it's also a very good platform for people that are able to do a digital job, but they want to get paid in crypto. Xlabor.com. You can be in the platform both as a user or as a
Content creator.
Yeah.
And
Way
then,
better than Fiverr.
so
Fiverr.
So- Fiverr for me for the last 5 years has been the cream de la crop, but Fiverr is not good if you are doing things like editing a book, because the vibrational state, and you know how many thousands of dollars I've spent on different editors. When you find, right, so it takes a long time to find somebody who's in the right vibration, and then it's really not about the money, because you know the return is going to be exponential. It's about finding the right resonance that would help you portray your gift in the same light that you've created it.
And in that process, you invest a lot of money.
Yes, in the process of finding, so this is why I found, and I'm on a spiritual medicine path,
Yeah.
so all those people that are in resonance with that, I'm a good resource for. So, because I've already discovered how to do that.
So I have a question about this process that you just shared. This is for basically growing your audience, no? First.
No, this is for selling your course.
But first
growing
you're
your
giving
growing a
something
list,
for-
growing
this,
an email
this
list.
is yes,
Yeah, this is what I'm
yes.
talking
Growing
about.
list is the most important thing because
First.
right, but this is part of the process.
Okay.
You don't even have to think of it as. You don't have to think of it as thirst. It's like think of it as a nurturing campaign. Like it's not. First they have to read the book. It's like this is just the first step in building the relationship.
Right.
Okay.
So you start, once they do this, then they become accustomed to being in a relationship with you. And in the relationship, you give and give until there becomes a point where you say, hey,
Okay.
if you're loving what you see and
Yeah.
you want to dive even deeper,
Yeah.
I have something that's going to take you there.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yes. It is like dating. So what's the
Yeah.
easiest way is like what's the simplest thing that you ask people like, hey, can I go out on a date? Like
Right.
I want to go on a date. So now you have to, they ask you why, and you have to explain to them, hey, because we have these things in common, ta-da-da. So this is like your page of like explaining the things, the benefits that they would get as a result of giving their email, what they're going to get, like
Okay.
how they're going to feel, what it's going to change about their life as a result of them reading this book, reading this content, or watching this video.
So this is the lead magnet, what's called the lead magnet, right? It's the very entrance of the funnel, the lowest bar to entry.
It's the first
just
date.
to engage
The
the
very-
customer.
the
And
first.
then obviously, in an ideal sense, you want to take that customer on a journey
Yeah.
Yeah.
up to your other products and upsell them and
Yeah.
et cetera, but you introduce them at the very right
Yeah.
end.
It's like an intro.
And
Yeah.
so you have to explain to them, position yourself, what are you doing,
Okay.
and give them a low priced entry or an easy
Or
entry,
free,
right?
yeah.
Here is free.
Another-
For free. That's an email, yeah.
Another example is you could put out a free course. So like there's this whole like put out the free 5-day activation, 5-day training, 5-day challenge that a lot of people are doing, right? And then, get them in there, but then, sort of like what Tony Robbins does, right? It's free, but hold on a second. You can get VIP access to where you can actually get into the
Yeah.
Zoom room
Right.
and ask questions and all that stuff like afterwards, and that's just like $50 or $100, and then goes to the one
big
thing,
one.
the next thing,
Yeah.
to the next thing.
I
Yeah,
have a question. Have you built a course and do you have the funnels and everything?
I'm working on it.
Nice.
I've been working on removing the blocks of doing it.
Yeah, me too.
I got all
Me
the
too.
training on how to
Me
do
too.
it.
I have all the content and
Every
I have an
single
idea,
thing.
but
So remember
There's
the point. Where's the point
We
of
can help you with
Where's the point of focus? First of all, you can have a world-class team, yes, but also the point of focus is like, oh my God, do I want another person to live the life that they're living, or am I the conduit for them living a better life? Woo!
Exactly.
Oh my God, like is today the day that they're gonna transform their life as a result of my message? Shift the focus. So we're so focused on our own blocks, me. Wait, it's him.
right.
Like people have said with in medicine with me. Now they don't have the next steps.
Right.
They don't have the integration. Oh my God, I feel so sorry. Like I can't talk to them each person at a time. So I have to build something for them so they collectively can have this package, this beautiful gift I give them to take away home to continue the process of
Right.
transformation.
I have a question about that, exactly that you just said. Because I got stuck in a point where I realized that my message was finally clear, because it took me a while to clarify it and to structure it. But there was a point that I thought that my message was for a specific niche, like you said, you know, like for those people that I think need integration, right? That I think. But then I realized that actually the content that I was delivering, not necessarily the niche that I was directing it, they don't even know that they have this need. They don't even, I realized that the people that I was talking about integration and that was understanding what integration actually means was not necessarily the people that I thought. So what I this I'm telling you just like 3 months ago, after 1 year of structuring and clarifying the message, and finally, you know, was about to deliver the baby in a 9-month process because that's what I did all the 2020. And then I was like, wait, now I understand, you know, like it was a big realization to understand that once it was going to be delivered, that the level of consciousness of people that I was directing to, maybe my message was a little bit more advanced than the level of conscious of people. So this is like...
We were just talking about this very concept, because it's called A/B testing, which is because you think your market is one audience, let the market decide.
Exactly.
You don't have to decide, and you can let the metrics decide.
And this is how I started.
Yeah.
I wanted to call this psychedelic integration course.
Oh, really?
And now it's called 7F manifesting.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and every
Completely different connotation.
every single area of it, as I will show you,
Yeah.
it is about transforming your life, your stories, which if you are doing medicine or not doing medicine.
Yeah.
It's just the step-by-step process of transforming every area of your life in that first 7 weeks.
Yeah, so just to finish this idea, I just realized this, and then that of course brings me to another process of even being more clear, even being more like, you know, another, let's say, layer of refinement of the message, another, even like, it was like simplifying even more.
Yes.
Like first was big download, lot of some information, then structure that information, and then becoming simple, no?
Yeah.
From a very complex to a very simple. And now I realized that actually, I just realized, I'm telling you, recently, after a whole process, that actually there was offers for different niches, you know, like, so I realized that actually the coaching program that I wanted to launch was not necessarily for the beginner people. Let's say like there's 3 profiles or 3 levels of consciousness that I realized. First will be like the beginner people, the wanderers, the people that are just beginning their path, but not necessarily will understand what integration is yet because they haven't even done anything. You know, that might be too complex for them to understand. You know, so that those are beginners. No, and then the people that I was talking the most about this integration was actually other facilitators, other space holders, other already healers, maybe medicine facilitators. They were the ones that were understanding, right? And they were attending to my free talks that I was giving and my free circles, and I was like, come on, like, so funny that other integrators are coming to the circle and not necessarily the people that I thought that need integration. And we even talk and we talk about this thing, like, wow, I'm so, how can I say, I'm so surprised that people don't understand that they need it, because we know they need it, but they don't even know they need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then I realized that maybe this was not a coaching program, that maybe it would be even a facilitator program for other healers and space holders that might need more tools to help people in their integration process. So actually it become like a training, you know, like it start to evolve into other things. So.
Right. When you have the vision, yes. And the funny thing is, when you start realizing that it's really, you have become the medicine. So now it's not so much about emphasizing on the medicine, but rather the process of transformation. Because the user can come, if they choose to take the medicine or not, is up to them, but you still take them through a process that they can transform their life. Because you're the medicine now.
I'd like to bring up a point about this idea we have of like, we get so focused on what we think the world wants from us.
Yeah.
And that can be so damaging. When I helped launch Tony Robbins' online school to train life coaches, and that's why I'm sitting here, is because we went through this process. We had 5 days of free training. I got to see what this was like, how it could be effective, how it could create value, right? And then I went to Bali, and I moved to Bali, and I said, I'm this coach, I do these things, I can help people. And then I made ice cream at a house party, and everyone was like, we love that you're a coach, can you please make more ice cream? And the consistent message was, please make us more ice cream. And so I listened. Like when the universe is asking you for something, don't be so stuck on what you think you are.
Right.
Everyone was asking me for ice cream. I opened up an ice cream company in Bali.
The gift you think you want to give is not always the gift of the world.
Right.
Wants you to give.
Right. So even in this process, you might go in thinking, this is what my gift is. But maybe before the process, you can start asking people, what do you think my gift is? What would you pay me to share with you? And clearing some of that up, because sometimes it's hard for us to see what our true gift is and what our medicine is, and we can heal that, we can learn from one another.
And it may be that, I think this is a very valid point, like you have all these very sophisticated wisdom and knowledge that you've earned, very hard earned over many years, but it may be that if you pitch that to a very niche group, it's a very small group, which, as you said, is people that are already in that world.
Right.
And it may be that what you really want to bring that to is a wider consumer audience, which means you have to crystallize the messaging for a different group and simplify it for them as more of an entryway into that world. Okay. And so even though you're operating at this very sophisticated level, sometimes you have to be prepared to step back
but it's
and
not
to
easy.
welcome in a new audience.
Well, also it can be very strategic.
I found this more difficult than being simple from the beginning.
There could be a very high-priced, high-ticket facilitator training for teaching people who are on the path how to be leaders and how to help others integrate. This could be a $3,000 to $5,000 program. And then there could be the $200 version for the new ones. And then they have this perception of this value. Oh wow, there's this high ticket item. She's working with people at the highest level, and I can come in and be a student at this rate.
Right.
And that could be a really sexy vibration to create.
That resonated in all my body.
And it could be a ladder, you know. Let's say there's 7 levels, 7, just like there is in Peruvian shamanism. And you may be operating at level 7, but you offer people an entry point and a way to step up the ladder and make progress.
It's
and
right challenging, and this is what she said from the beginning. No, how can you talk to a 6-year-old? No, and for me that it's been quite a process of decomplicating myself and be more simple, because at the end you need to explain to a 6-year-old child that could comprehend and could connect and be empathic with your message, because you can have a high, sophisticated, super elevated message, but if they are not connecting with that message and understanding what actually you're saying, then that's where I actually got a little bit even insecure in my process of launching my course. That was my process.
Along those lines, sort of like what Dasha said earlier, what she touched on, is talk, like, if we can't necessarily talk to ourselves the way we would talk, we have to talk in our course the way we would have to talk to ourselves 10 years ago.
Old self.
The person
right.
who we were 10 years ago.
The person who
delivering
just
that way.
started, like I was talking to the person that was even afraid of going on an ayahuasca journey. I'm like,
Yeah.
do you want to be happier?
Yeah.
Do you feel like your mind is controlling you? Do you feel like you're blaming other people, your parents? Like, do you find yourself being angry? Like, that's me 10 years ago. Not me 2 years ago when I was already on the path. That's me. Do you want to find a way of how to realize what's holding you back from being happier? So here, I'll show you the course that I created. But the next step, in order for people to get the course, I created this beautiful, very long landing page that obviously has the video at the top. And the video has to be good quality. That's what I was explaining the other day. Oh, we probably don't have Wi-Fi, right? Well,
back for being here and for being ready to take that leap of faith to understand.
and look at how when I explain about it. Just want to show you the beginning that I'm talking about it like a 6-year-old kid. I don't know if can you hear it? Is that volume?
I think you have to put play.
Yeah, but the volume. See the
Yeah.
volume? And this is what simplicity, and simplicity takes time. So So give yourself a pat on the back. You're doing great.
I'm so excited that you're here. And I want to welcome you to the first step that will transform every area of your life. I would love for you to give yourself a pat on the back for being here and for being ready to take that leap of faith to understanding yourself fully, awakening to who you are, your passion, your vision, your purpose, to writing your very own book and publishing it if you feel like it, and to monetizing your life by creating your very own course.
So you see how very, very simple.
Yeah.
That's here. And the different areas, the different levels, of course, when you create this vision, you can create the cream de la crop, like how much financial abundance is it going to take for you to then be able to give more and do things that don't require that. Like let's say it's 100K. Okay, what's it going to take? Can I create a package that's like maybe twice a year that I'm going to do a group session for like 5 to 10 individuals that are going to be VIP.
Yeah.
They're going to be just people that are interested in integration. Yeah, the high ticket item. Okay, am I happy with 100K a year if I have 10 people attending my this and I'm charging 10,000, 10 people attending 100K? Like, am I happy with this? Like that could be your high ticket item. You create the vision of it, and then you can create the lower ticket item. So.
I think that high ticket is another big leap. No, I'm listening. I have a friend that she's a coach and she also teaches 7-figure fan coaching, this kind of breaking through your limitations of somehow just what you said. It can be as simple as that. No, instead of selling 100 courses, selling 10. But at the end, that's really talking about the money, monetizing. But at the end, the mission, And I feel that we should definitely have access to all these levels of consciousness and also these economic capacities of people to invest in themselves. You know what I mean?
And you can give so much away for free.
Right.
Really, you can give a ton away for free. You can make your wisdom totally available, and then what you'll realize once you've given everything away is that people are paying for the relationship with you, and they're paying for the personal sharing, the personal advice. You can give away everything, but there's no substitute for the relationship with you.
Because at the end of the day, people really just, when you resonate a certain frequency, they want that frequency. The words that you're using are important, but not as important as the frequency you give out, because they want to be like that. They're paying you to be like you. For that frequency, they want to resonate in proximity,
Resonate.
they want to resonate what you resonate. So if you've healed, you're feeling this love, they want to feel it too. They're like, oh my God, where do I need to come? What do I need to do? What do I need to listen to? So you're giving them all of this stuff because they want to become just like you, so they can be on the path to being just like you.
It's interesting. I follow people, that I like their frequency. It's all about that.
And for me, you're very grounded, very graceful,
Thank you.
fully embodied, and feel very connected to yourself and to Earth. And there's a lot of people that would enjoy to share that vibration.
Thank you, brother.
Because these people, they're just going to be brothers and sisters. The resonance is going to be so easy, it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah, I mean, it's because I love people. I just don't, I have a blockage with camera sometimes. And I realized this 1 year ago when I was ready to launch my program with a whole production team that believed in my message and believed in my mission. But I was not ready. I was not believing in myself yet. So the whole production, everything went down. So I was in the peak and then I reached the bottom. And now I have another perspective because I realized that I actually had to go through the process that I wanted to deliver and that I was not exempt to go through it. And this is it's a big one because I realized that once we have a camera in front of us, like now that I feel a little bit more comfortable with it, there's an eye, and there's an eye of the self-critic, And this eye of the self-critic can be also connected to those wounds from that child that not necessarily feel worthy, of not even fear of failure, but fear of success. That's a big realization too. Like, wow.
And we all have within us so many archetypes, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has the inner critic for sure. There's so many archetypes that are floating around that you can go to as a source of inspiration or witness as a source of an energy that, save that for later, Like there's probably times in your life where you wish you were a little bit more critical, right? So it's about knowing when to use it and seeing when it's creating limitation.
But even the great artists, I see a lot of amazing artists and are the worst critics, and you don't realize that until you show up, you show up, and the people's reaction is so, wow, what an amazing masterpiece you just did with that music, with that hat, with that, and you're like, oh, okay, people actually, are resonating with it, even that you don't necessarily are 100% happy with it, But I feel that is very tricky. That's a trickster. According to my teacher, that's the coyote voice that I will always say, you can do better than this, or are you sure? Or the doubt, the self-doubt, that little voice of the trickster, of the coyote.
Right, it's a selfish voice. We really have to be thinking about ourselves quite a bit to stop what we're going to give to the world because we're so focused on ourselves that we're not going to give back because of how we feel about ourselves. It's so selfish, no? We have to reorient.
Right?
Reorient.
I feel like personally I can get caught up in I'm not quite ready yet, right? Like I'm not perfect yet, right?
Because we compare ourselves to who do we compare ourselves to?
Exactly. Yeah,
to the people that have been doing the same thing day in and day out for 30 years. And then it's like, oh my God, I'm not as good as that guy, Tony Robbins, who's been doing the same thing day in and day out, 12-hour, 15, 17-hour days for 30 years. I'm not as good at that. I'm not good enough.
We also have to remember people want to see us grow.
It's true.
They don't want a flat story. They want to see you. They want to say, yeah, I was at his first
thing. Yeah.
I was at his first concert. I was at his first event. Like, those are your raving fans.
Right.
And how many raving fans do you really need to have a financially secure life? Not as many as you think.
Yeah. What do you guys think about, does anybody here have experience with subscription-based platforms? Something that I've been, like feeling like I'm looking for sponsorship for the bus tour and the Galactic Bus Health and Wellness activations that I'm doing, but it's like, what if I create like a subscription-based thing, right? Like they put out a lot of content out there for free, but then also have a personal page or website where people just pay like $10 a month or something just to follow the journey.
Yeah, exactly.
Before that, I just had a comment previously before you're on the camera thing, and I can help you with that. What has helped me, because I screwed it up so many times, and now I learned every time I screw it up, I'm still like, hey, I'm screwing it up. It's cool. Like I want you to screw it up, and just the voice. Just wait a minute. Let me see. Maybe it'll get back on. Like. That's fine, but I now learned to visualize that one perfect client that I had that didn't feel like work, and now there's no longer a camera, but it's her sitting right there behind it, and I'm like, hey, like, and now I'm talking directly to her, to that or him, that perfect client that didn't feel like work, absolutely. So it's just one person, and I'm having a two-way conversation. So now the stress level of the whole, it's a camera, it's just one person. That really helps let go of that, like. She's just right there. I just worked with her last night.
Right.
Hey, so how was that activation? Was that good? Because it was good for me, and it's like a conversation. Because you want the person that's on the other screen to be like, yeah, like, did you feel that? Good job. Like I'm so proud of you right now. Like, give yourself a pat on the back. Like, wow, you're amazing, man. Like, you're so good. Because you're talking, and the person behind is like, yeah, I am good. Yeah, I'm amazing. I feel you. It's like, and oops, I messed up. Hold on, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, okay. It's cool. It's okay. Like, here, I'm back. Like, it's normal, because then you allow people to just also forget, and it's fine. Or, like, I forgot the words, or I messed up.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, because I realized that you were talking about fake it until you make it and all this, right? So, I mean, I think it's important to talk about this because I went through it. I am already on the other side, but I realized that going back to authenticity and fake it until you make it and being comfortable to talking to the void of the camera and all this is really like coming back to which character are you playing, or how vulnerable you are. And it's okay to mess it up, it's totally fine. And that's another blockage that I realized, which is perfectionism.
You and every single person I've ever met, it's an illusionary trap. Hold on. Should we? Is it tied to this, or should we go into what he was saying? Is it tied to this? To
her.
To her. Okay. Yeah.
No, it's not tied to her. It's just tied to the entire.
Okay. Because I want to make sure that we respect Zach's question as well.
Yeah, good.
Is it? Can you hold on to that one?
For sure.
Do you want to touch into Zach's question about subscriptions?
No, I'm gonna sit with it. You want to sit with that one?
Okay, we'll talk about it later. Okay.
Just a question mostly for you to tie in your experience and your ability to connect us with these payment platforms to receive payments. Splice is the only one that I've heard of on these kinds of platforms. Do the ones that you work with cryptocurrency? Do you know?
Things are changing so fast. I'll check in with them. No, I mean at the moment I don't know. I assume they don't, because it's very like the merchant processor that I work with is the same one that my family used for the Tony Robbins school, and they pretty much they have a system where, like, okay, so Stripe charges a flat fee, right? Like 3%. And what you don't know is that every card that gets used to purchase something has a fee that's already built into the card. And what Stripe is doing is they're collecting the money in between what the card is and what their 3% is. So whatever it is, they're just collecting in between. And the merchant processor that we use, they just add a little percentage on top of each card that's used, and people end up saving anywhere from tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands based off of what system they're coming from. Okay. So that's the processor I'm using. It's very very much in the bank world, not in the crypto
Yeah.
world. But I'm definitely now in the space of researching how to find what you're looking for. So
Sweet, thank you for doing that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
imagine, you know, I've never met Tony or taken his courses, but he seems like a pretty conscious guy. And I know in his last course he was screaming the nonsense of COVID. So
yeah.
I feel that maybe it's going to shift.
screaming. I just attended his business mastery course like a month ago, and he definitely was like way more liberal, radically liberal than I thought he'd be about
Yeah.
COVID and kind of like debunking it
So
and like being like,
For that reason,
Yeah.
I think that's like he's showing us like a side of him, which makes me feel like people like that and these platforms could shift towards these blockchain currencies.
yeah,
Because they're going to have to
Right.
accommodate these thought leaders
totally.
who are showing up in this way, or the thought leaders are going to say,
So, and I mean, at the very least, if we are driven to like, I'm only going to accept crypto, like it's not hard to set up. You can have your QR code for people to send you money, and they can just put their camera or their phone to the screen and send you money, and you can manually do it. What we're all looking for is that fast, easy, automatic system that makes things easy, but manually we can always make it happen. And it's not that much work to every day check twice or 3 times a day, has anyone purchased, so then I can send them the email. You can even write on the computer screen, hey, we're doing this manually, it might take a few hours or up to 24 hours for you to receive your login information. Like we can make it work right now. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. So here I was going to demonstrate to you actually the content of the course. So when people have looked at this offer and you make the landing page like so incredible, and you go off what people have already done, right? So when you create that landing page, it's not a brand new landing page that hasn't been tested. Like I clicked on a few of these sponsored ads, and I selected the ones that I liked because it was easy to read and it was super exciting, and then I did the same thing they were doing but changed the words. So I kept the format, and ClickFunnels makes it easy because it gives you formats, and all you have to do is just change the images, change the videos, and quality of the videos and sound is super important. And I don't know, for those of you who were here yesterday, it doesn't cost much to get good sound and good camera. You can get it for under $100, and I have a PDF about which products to buy. So this, you don't have to reinvent the wheels, right? You just get a few of these offers that you like from your sponsored ads on your Facebook, or you go to 7fmanifesting.com, and you see how I've created it because it works. People click on it and they buy it. So it's like a breakdown of the whole thing, but it repeats itself. And then visual aids, super important. I spent thousands of dollars on this with other people, and I found a website called placeit.net that allows you to create amazing visual aids, because people are visual people, and create these lovely PDFs by plugging in your own logos or pictures, because people buy like first like the images that you create for them, the feeling. So that's a cool website, placeit.net. So then here's the course, ladies and gentlemen. This is like a 4 months to a year course. So I sell this at $497. I mean, special promotion now for $37, but that's the price for it because it has over 40 hours of video and transmissions. And here's the integration, how I broke it down. And you may get ideas, and we can work on it if you want later, is how to create that vision, how to create the vision for their life first. And then I created hypnosis every week in the first transformation path. They get a lesson the first day of the week, and the rest of the week they get a transmission, which is a hypnosis or a meditation. For me, I do hypnotic meditations, which is a vibrational shift for them that they do every single day for the rest of that week after they learn the lesson. Then that second week, I teach them about the daily rituals and their forgiveness practices, the Ho'oponopono. The third week is how to change stories. So first they realize their stories, and then they change their stories. So the first day I give them a lesson about it, how their stories rule their life, like the whole lesson explaining about the stories, the conditioning, the computer. And then every single day after that, they have a transmission. They're tapping into their story, they're visualizing it, and then they're changing it. And here, of course, you can mention, oh yes, like if you're having a hard time, you can come experience different medicines. So medicines is you're just providing people access to, but you can guide them. You're the medicine, so you can guide them through the whole process like a 6-year-old child. Then the week after that, week 4, I teach them how to surrender to current circumstances and tap into the flow, because that is the art of everything. And again, first day is the lesson. The rest of the time, they are doing the transmission, the vibrational shifts. Then I talk about the vibrational states, the pyramid of consciousness. And I explain that, and I use visual graphics to show the different vibrational states, different emotions, how people start from the lower and they grow in their one consciousness, right? So they have to experience all the emotions. Bending reality, transforming triggers. Every single time you're triggered, what to do. And then again, vibrational shift for the rest of the week. And then last but not least, for the transformation, is how to take deliberate actions and how to detach from the outcomes. So this is how I broke down this was called integration at first, and now it led me down the path, become clearer, 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 to 7F manifesting. And then the 11 steps after that is how to write your very own book. So I teach people how to write your book in 11 steps, and then how to monetize your life with the course. And I give them so much. Like, I explain everything about writing, everything about making videos. So basically, anytime I learn something that I'm like, oh my God, and like I've spent so much money for other people, like I want to give it to everybody I know. Because I'm like dying to tell everybody that, like, there's an easier way, come over here, I'll show you. Like, I messed up videos so many times, the sound was bad so many times, the video was bad so many times, that like, I'm like, here, please, go get this. Yeah, and simplicity takes time, right? But that's what I recommend, and that's what I can help you with, is to create that flow of abundance through doing these courses online, sharing your gifts and talents. And it doesn't have to be that big. A $37 offer is just basically 3 to 4 videos of 30 minutes. That's an easy yes. It doesn't have to be big and elaborate. You can make 37, you can make $4.97, like you can.
Yeah. Is this all pre-recorded videos, or there's also?
So these are all pre-recorded videos.
Okay.
I host them all on YouTube, easy peasy. Okay. Just paste the link. Okay. And I create videos and PDFs every single day so they can go along. Because, you know, learning is better when you are listening, when you're doing the transmissions, when you are writing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a self-paced.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you saying that you, as you learn and go through life, you integrate things into your course?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
What is this platform? Sorry.
This is ClickFunnels. So this
also ClickFunnels.
Everything one-stop shop. Yes.
Oh, wow.
This is in the membership area, and that's what I also teach you in the midst of all this. Like, I teach you how to quickly create it, because I tried. I don't know.
So all the content is there?
Everything within one platform.
Like Teachable.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great. They have integrated everything.
They integrated, yes. So that's why I like it. The whole campaign is created within one. The landing pages, all the the payment gateway, like everything is built within. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So you don't have to create. Yeah, you don't have to create your own website. Like the way that Russell Brunson was describing websites is that people put so much stuff on it. It's like putting a bunch of salespeople in front of your store and not allowing them to come in.
Right.
Because people put a lot of stuff on their websites, with their books, their all the different offerings.
Right.
So they're blocking people from actually buying.
Right.
So when you create a funnel, it's directed toward one thing and one thing only, to lead people down the path, take the steps, easy yes, through building a relationship with them. You're like dating with them.
Right.
And then once somebody has taken your book or your video, they've already started this relationship with you, like this resonance. And if they feel the resonance, now they go get the course. They finish the course. Now they want more. Now all of a sudden you can offer privates at a level, at a price point that's much higher, because you've already built a relationship with them. Like I work with people that are over $100,000 a year, because I build relationship, and now I'm like, are you ready for the next step? But they know how I work and how I operate and my language, so nothing is new. And we're not having ABC conversations because they've already gone through this. Now we're having XYZ conversations.
Right. And I have, you can ask something? Yeah. For example, for coaching program model, where you actually don't have all the content pre-recorded, but you actually deliver some, how do you say, online circles.
Live.
Right,
Like, yeah.
circles. This is another model, no?
Right. Or you can integrate. You can integrate. So the best way that I've done this before, I've done it via Zoom, and I got a lot of clients this way as well. You can create events through Facebook, Zoom, and then put the links inside your course.
Okay.
So if you want to do live, so Zoom has an upgrade feature that you can have close to 100 participants, and you can record the session while it's happening. It's like $40 extra a month. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's easier once you have an established list, once you're starting to give stuff away in exchange for an email. Once you have that established list of people, it's easier to tell them, hey, come over here, I'm having a session. It's easier to fill your classroom once you have an email base. This is why when you start giving stuff, like ask for an exchange for an email.
Give your best.
Yeah.
Give the best that you have.
Yeah. Give everything.
The most like
time.
What you feel is the most valuable, you know? That really, if you can change someone's life in a video, thank you. Share that.
Like the reason why people are buying my books now is because for the last 5 years, through every single step of the writing process and all my struggles, I always went live. I would go live, be like, oh my God, I'm so frustrated right now. Like, I want to just give up on this process of writing. And like, I build this resonance, this audience through my Facebook group by all the struggles with the writing. And sometimes I would even hit live and I would just be writing. And I'm like, hey, I want to take you on the journey, just like to show you what I'm experiencing right now. And I'm just like writing and showing like the process, the journey. Even before, because it's not about the completion, right? It's about the process, and then people that are watching it are rooting for you so hard because you've fallen down so many times and you confessed to it and you appeared human, you appeared honest. So then they're like, oh, it's ready? Where is it? I'm ready to buy. Like all your people are just going to be like, because you're always showing up for them all the time, even when you're down, even when you don't feel like it. You talk about the fact that you don't feel like it, and you talk about why you're down, and you're talking about what's keeping you going, and
showing up with everyone.
yeah, it's a journey. Journey. And your people that are watching you, they're your biggest cheerleaders, because when they see you struggle to get there, they're like, oh God, like we're the same, you know?
Yeah.
So. Huh? So yeah.
Gracias.
Does anyone have any besides? I know we didn't address your question very much because
Oh,
we
it's all
haven't.
good. I'm just curious if anyone had experience with it.
I have some. Do you know who Charlie Rock is?
No,
I think it would be in your best interest to just look him up.
Cool.
I think he's done something a lot like what you've done, or what you wanted to do with taking the bus around like on his work.
I've actually seen online programs how to get sponsorships from corporations.
Oh yeah. Oh
Huh.
nice.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Some little Google research.
Well, I'm connected with somebody. She was here yesterday. She's good at that. She's good at sponsorships. I was just,
You build a little deck, and you show how their brand is going to be put out, and try to make it as clear and concise of a value trade as possible. As many stats and numbers.
yeah.
Those people love stats and numbers. So, and then pitch it to a list. And there are people who will help you with this, who already have these lists. You don't have to do it all by yourself.
Yeah, she does. I was mainly just talking about
Subscription models.
subscriptions.
Yeah,
thank you for that.
That is.
As well.
Actually, I have a friend that uses that model. What he does is, I just had an aha moment. What he does is he gives snippets away of like interviews of people, high profile people that have a lot of following. He gives like 5 minutes on his Instagram, and he upsells for them to watch
The entire
his
thing.
full things.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was envisioning. 'Cause
Yeah.
I connect with so many of the most amazing people just synchronistically along the journey. So just,
So when you
Getting
do
interviews
when
with
you do
them.
interviews with people that have a high following, now you have access to both audiences.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, so that's the best when you're doing multi-stream and you're doing multiple things at the same time. Like you have your Instagram going and you have your Facebook going. Now you're tapped in to both of those audiences and that person's audiences.
Yeah.
So when you figure out the tech, and then you only show 5 to 10 minutes, a snippet, like the hottest part of the interview, and you say, in order to watch the whole thing and the rest of the, make it very attractive, you go up subscribe, like $10, $15.
Heck yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and you can easily approach people. People do that all the time to me. Like when they see that I have an audience, like they want to tap into that audience, so they showcase me basically.
Oh, nice.
So what you're doing is you're bringing this person their talents and you're showcasing them, and that's why they promote you, and it's a yin yang.
Beautiful.
Yin yang.
Speaking of things along that lines, I want to put out there that tomorrow I have a shoot, a private session with somebody at this really the most amazing cenote I've been in, just down the road here. She has 2 million people on Instagram, and so I'm gonna go and do a shoot and stuff there if anybody feels inspired to bring their equipment as well. I have a photographer coming as well. But, yeah, if anybody else wants to just be a part of it.
Nice.
Nice.
What kind of shoe is it?
Yeah, what kind of
Okay.
shoot?
I'm gonna just be doing like a private sound healing journey for her and her partner and their child. And this gorgeous, like, y'all just need to see this cenote. Anyways, I wanted to bring, like 5 at a time, so that would be
Cool.
cool to
Awesome. Thank
go
you.
out there.
So,
Yeah.
can we close the circle?
Yeah.
I want to just give a ton of gratitude for everyone who was able to attend and anyone who is watching us now from anywhere in the world. If you found resonance with anything we said, if you have any questions, you need help on anything whatsoever, this is your cue to get in touch, to not be in your head, whatever you're struggling or you need help with. This is why we're here. So get in touch with us on Facebook, and I'll share links. And we love you, and we're rooting for you to create your dream life, and we're supporting you in every possible way. And I hope that you're feeling that you are taken care of, that you don't have to go through this alone. So we love you, and namaste. We did it! That was fun.